welcome back to another episode of Single Mama Minimal Drama. This is a podcast about parenthood. I am your host, Kendra, and today I have a parent with me. His name is Antonio, aka TraMel G, and he is not only a singer, songwriter, actor, he is a father of two. So, what else do you want to tell us about yourself?
Well, I'm also a licensed physical therapist, so
Oh,
I've been
yeah.
a therapist for a number of years. So that's how I pay for my music and those two kids you just spoke of.
Yeah.
That's how I pay for them. It's through a regular job.
Yeah. So we've known each other for a couple years now. We met through work for the most part. And then we just kind of still have like a fun friendship kind of in between that we built off of that. And like I got to be in one of your music videos last year, which was very fun.
It's called Party. Check it out. It's on YouTube.
Yes, it is on YouTube. Y'all might see me. You'll see a little clip of me in the
It's a couple.
Yeah, it's a couple. I'm in there.
There a little bit.
Just sprinkle. I laughed during the music video during the shoot because like the part where he had us coming down the stairs, he told me specifically, he was like, "Don't look into the camera when you come down the stairs."
And then my brand manager looked directly into the camera. And
I looked directly into the camera. I walked down the stairs and I was like, first of all, I was trying not to fall because like my feet were slippery. I was trying not to fall and I was walking down the stairs and then as soon as I got to the bottom, I did just like this into the camera. And then when I watched the video, I was like, oh, he cut that part. Good. Because he was like, don't look into the camera. But I thought it was a fun experience. So
yeah, I had a good time. It was stressful for me, like putting everything together. Because like I came up with the treatment, obviously the song, location scouting and all that. So by the time we were shooting, I was almost ready. I'm just ready for it to be done by that point in time. But it did come out well. I thank everybody that participated in it and came out to be a part of it because it was end up being like a really dope project.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was very interesting. I was like, oh, I've never done this before. And when you asked me, I was like, I've never done that before, but I guess I could just show up. You know what I'm saying? All I got to do is pretend I'm at a party. Yeah. So it was cool. So we're going to talk about parenthood today.
Yes.
Single parenthood. So you are a single dad.
I am single and I'm a dad.
Single on taxes, like.
yeah, exactly. Right. I make one heck of a co-parent, so we do a good job at that, definitely. Yeah. So, I guess single dad work. You're looking at tax IDs and stuff. Yeah.
That's what I consider myself. People are like, oh, you're a single mom. Yes, because I'm single on taxes. Single. Yeah. So I talk about co-parenting a lot because I feel like me and my ex-husband, we got divorced I think it was we're coming up on 2 years now, so 2 years ago. And we're working to co-parent. And so far it's been pretty cohesive. Yeah. I'm very transparent with like what our custody agreement is. Like we do a 50-50 joint custody. So it's no child support in ours. And people are always like, what? You don't get child support? You should have taken back to court and da-da-da. And I'm like, my only thing is that I've always just wanted him to be there for the kids. Right. I don't need you to give me money for the kids if you're going to do all the things that you need to do with the kids.
Right. So you can have the money and have them not be there, or you can have them be there. So there's all kind of like in-betweens, but that's the arrangement with me and my mother, my children. 50%, we pay for sports together. We coordinate things. If she needs a day to do something, I'll grab them and vice versa. So we worked it out, and that wasn't always smooth in the beginning. So we had our days, but like just kind of like the communication right after that was a little tense. But over time, it got a little bit better once everybody understood like, this is where I am, this is where you are. Yeah. And it started working a lot better at that point in time.
Yeah. I think like it's important to think about it as a partnership. And that's how I've always thought about it. Even when we were married, I was like, it's still a partnership. You know what I'm saying? And when we got divorced, I was like, we are still parenting partners. We're not romantic partners anymore, but we still have these kids that we have to raise. So like a lot of times, like me and him, we talk pretty much strictly about the kids. But like we still sometimes it was like, oh, can you watch them because I need to do whatever. Right. It's fine. Like you don't even most of the time like you don't even have to give me an explanation. Like you need me to come pick them up when they with you this weekend because you got to go do something. That's fine. I'll pick them up. But like I feel like it works out better that way. But I think a lot of people, I would say maybe I don't know if it's that people necessarily don't have the communication skills because like sometimes people get bitter. Their feelings are hurt.
Yeah, and I think part of that too is especially when it comes to being the man, is not having a vengeful mother of your children.
Right.
So a mother that wants you involved.
Right.
Is not trying to hurt you by keeping the kids away from you. I think that helps a lot. And I know of situations that is the case, and it's rough. The guy suffers, the children suffer. Right. Ultimately, the mother suffers too because she's putting a lot on herself. Mm-hmm. It's just easier just to work it out, be honest, and just be open.
Right.
Open to it. It works easier. Then you're not spending a whole bunch of time plotting. You can just live your life and live your life.
Right.
As opposed to trying to figure out, well, how do I hurt her or how do I hurt him this time around? So I think that's a really big part of it.
Yeah, I think so too. It's definitely like having to realize that this person is like your teammate, not your enemy.
Right.
Like, unless like, you know, everybody's situation is different. Mm-hmm. You know, some people come from hard relationships or abusive relationships or whatever, and you have to have those things in place. Yeah. But like for the most part, if you know that the person that you are parenting with is a decent person, and like they're not going to do anything to hurt your kids, mm-hmm. they're going to make sure the kids are fed, clothed, all of that. Yeah. Then I'd be like, girl, let those kids go with their daddy.
Yep. And you need both parents. Like you can't just, I'm the mother and the father. I'm not the mother and the father. She's not the mother and the father. Mm-mm. I am the father. She's a mother. And whether she was there or not, I'm still the father.
Yeah.
I'm a nurturing father, but I'm still a father. Right. And so so I see people like, why am I saying Happy Father's Day to a mother on Father's Day or Happy Mother's Day to a father on Mother's Day? It just doesn't make sense to me. Right. I'm like, I am what I am. Right. So let's just stick with it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't do that. I'll be like, please don't tell me Happy Father's Day. I am not the father. I am not the daddy.
Do I look like a father? You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm not the daddy. They got a daddy. He's a good one. He's a good dad. You know what I'm saying? I feel like since we aren't together anymore, he's actually been a way better dad. So like because he's, you know, when you're living in the house with somebody, it can be easy to be like, oh, that person will do it because they're at home during this time and I know they're at home, so I'm just going to be out.
Or being super nitpicky.
Right.
That happens too. I think that was one of the transitions we made because, you know, when you have two different people come together from different backgrounds, whether you mimic the background or you do the opposite of the background, you don't usually always agree on things. Mm-hmm. So the lessons I tried to teach my kids as a man teaching lessons isn't the way that she would have done it, but it was a way that it was done. Sometimes it was right. Sometimes it was wrong. Like I'm not a perfect father, you know, and I don't, but at the end of the day, we learned to appreciate how we both did our parts.
Right.
So it was the appreciation part of it. One, I appreciated her for not being vengeful. Two, for allowing me after some point to just be like, you know what, let me be a little bit more open. Okay, now I see where his benefit is. As opposed to I don't think it was so much that before. It was like, I want to raise the kids the way I want to raise them. I wanted to raise them the way I wanted to raise them. And sometimes they clashed, and then sometimes we clashed, and then there would be arguments. And so we don't have that anymore because we both have that understanding.
Yeah. You got to understand that, like, you can't control what happens when they're with the other parent.
Right.
All you can do is control what happens when they're with you.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, it's okay for them to grow up with two different perspectives. They have two different parents who came from two different backgrounds, who came together and got them. But, like, so for you, it's different than for me because I have two boys. Mm-hmm. So you have a boy and a girl. Mm-hmm. So how does that work for you, like, raising them and teaching them lessons and, like, things like that?
Well, the biggest thing that I teach them that works for both of them is giving the best version of yourself. That's the primary thing. I feel like that's what God wants from all of us is to give the best version of ourselves. We're never going to be perfect. But sometimes people give half-hearted efforts, and that's not the thing that I teach them. I also teach them accountability. And I think that's what's lacking in relationships also.
Period.
But I teach them accountability. So they'll try a new video game, right? Mm-hmm. They'll try an arcade game. They'll say the game is rigged because they're not good at it.
Right.
No, the game isn't rigged. You just haven't put in enough practice time to be good at it.
Right.
So it's not rigged. You just need to put the time in. So don't go through life thinking like life works against you. Life gives you what you work for.
Absolutely.
Right. So just say with music, I had to grow and develop as an artist. Like I started out one way, and as I did it, I could see kind of how people responded to what. And so it was a process. So it's just like a video game. First time you try it, you're not going to beat the game unless you're some kind of super video game genius, which I don't know any of those.
I don't.
But it just takes time. It takes practice. And once you start to learn nuances of the game, then you get better at it.
Right.
And that's life.
Mm-hmm.
You learn nuances of life and you get better at it. So I teach them both the same thing. I kind of also let them be their personalities as best I can. Sometimes I have to get her to chill out a little bit.
My girl.
Yeah, she is the mother of everybody.
Boy, what?
And she knows everything. She's the mother of everybody and she knows everything. Because she's 9.
Yeah.
She knows everything
God.
according as opposed to him. He's 7.
Yeah.
So actually, she does that quite often.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but so she's a mother, so I gotta calm her down sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's good at letting everybody else do the work and sitting back and no sir.
Yeah.
Like I want her to be a good mate for her mate, and I don't want him to be the guy that sponges off of women, the guy that most women complain about. Like that can't be my son.
Right.
So he has responsibilities. He pulls the trash can up, takes trash out. So they both have responsibilities around the house. Y'all clean up, y'all do dishes. If there's those small food things like ramen noodles. Yeah. Well, he actually burnt some up the other day. But my house is still smelling like burnt ramen.
That's awful. That's like
he didn't put water in it.
Oh,
and the house is still smelling crazy.
But he's only 7.
Right.
We'll allow it.
So like any small things like that they can do, I try to make sure I give them things that are age appropriate and skill appropriate. So I don't just do everything for them. Like they at least very minimum have to put their clothes in the washing machine. Now they're putting detergent and stuff. They take it out of the washing machine, put it in the dryer, set the dryer. So now they can do the whole process. So
that's good.
We just got to teach them how to fold next, but because that's what I do.
Man, I've only got Sam and Weston on taking their folded clothes up to their room to put in their drawer. But now, because your son is the same age as my son, my oldest, Sam is 7. Yeah, so now I feel like Sam needs to start learning. But Sam likes to do stuff. Sam is an old soul.
Ashton's the same way.
Yeah, Sam does not like when Sam was a baby, everybody used to call him serious. His face always looked like this. All the time until he started crawling. Then he started smiling because he could move around and do things on his own. So like Sam is very much like still now to this day. Like you're telling Sam, okay, Sam, it's gonna be 85 degrees outside. I don't think you should wear a long sleeve shirt. Sam is like, I want to wear a long sleeve shirt because it's cold in my school, so I need the long sleeve shirt. And I'm like, okay, but when you go outside to play in the playground, you're gonna be hot. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna be hot. You can't tell me I know my body. Like, he says stuff like that. Right. Like, and you're like, what? But to me, he gives me and my mom a lot of kickback. Like, when he with his dad, though, one day we were somewhere together because, like, his dad still comes around to, like, family events. Like, he's still invited, of course. Bring the kids when they with you or whatever. And, like, Sam said something to me, and his dad said, "You're talking too much." And then Sam just got quiet and walked away. And I was like, hello, I say stuff like this, and I'm telling you to stop going back and forth. Like, literally, my mom and him got into an argument one day, and she told him, she was like, and this was before he turned 7. She was like, Sam, you are 6. I am 66. I'm 60 years older than you, and I know more than you. And he was like, yeah, but that just doesn't make sense.
That is funny. And I hear that a lot with my job. So if I'm sitting there with a patient for an hour, roughly, we talk about a lot in the course of they're there for up to 20 visits a year, like that kind of thing. So I hear that, and a lot of times women will say things like, I say something, they don't listen to me, but then he says something. But I know the difference in between how I do my kids and how the mother does, how their mother does them. I say something, I don't mind putting hands on them.
Okay.
She doesn't necessarily want to do that.
Right.
So she talks more than I do.
Okay.
I don't talk as much.
Understood.
I say something one time, and if I had to say something again, it's a problem.
Yeah.
So they don't have that margin for error. Whereas with her, they may feel like they might have to do anything till the 10th time she says something.
Yeah, I can see that because I talk a lot more. I talk a lot to my kids.
Yeah.
So I think that's the power. That's my sweet angel niece over there. Sorry if you're not on camera, you can't see my sweet angel niece just entered the room. But yeah, like I talk a lot to Sam and Weston. And like a friend of mine, he's always just like, you talk too much. You just need to start getting the belt. And I'm like, I don't want to get the belt. So I feel their mom on that. Like, I don't want to have to go get the belt.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that.
But see, the thing is this, like, so it's about outcomes for me. I'm an outcome driven person.
Okay.
So
you're a Capricorn, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like with them, it's like, okay, how is my action now going to affect them down the line? Mm-hmm. So how is my son's inability to get directions right the first time going to affect him down the line? Ooh. So if he doesn't get the directions right when a police officer says something to him, what is that going to mean to him? Mm-hmm. If they think there's all this margin for error and they really in situations don't know when the difference is, that's going to be a problem for them later. So I don't mind a little bit of discomfort now for what I'm going to gain later. Right. And so a lot of people aren't willing to go through that discomfort. Mm. They want to stay comfortable but want the results. And that's not always going to work out like that. Yeah. Like if you go into the gym, if you want to be in shape, you're going to be uncomfortable. Yeah. You're going to have to push that run. You're going to have to lift more weights than you did the last time. So like progressive overload things. So nothing that you gain from anything comes without some kind of a sacrifice. Absolutely. Or some kind of discomfort. Yeah. You got a degree. I have a degree, right? HBCUs, hey. Savannah State, Payne College, right? Hey. So you go through stuff like every class wasn't a great class, and like every assignment wasn't a great assignment, but you endured the discomfort for the degree and where it was going to take you. Right. Absolutely. So that's the way I look at my kids. I'm like, if I got to whoop this little boy's behind so that it saves him later, I'd rather get him now than the police get him later. Yeah, that's true. And that's how I look at it. So I don't have a problem because I put the outcome ahead of my feelings. Right. You know?
Y'all heard that. Put the outcome ahead of your feelings as a parent. That's true, though. That's some real talk.
Because then, you know, you get to a point and then they're past a certain point. And what do you do at that point? Very so you got to catch them early and like really like get on them and get on them. Plus, I was older when I had my kids. So like I was 39 when Ashton was born. Yeah. Huh. So being older, you just don't know what's going to happen in life. Yeah. 20 something, you take for granted that tomorrow's going to come. Yeah. As a 40 plus year old now, I don't take for granted that tomorrow's going to come.
I've known you for that many birthdays. That's so random. I just thought about that. Wow.
Yeah. And I just look at life like that. So I try to teach my kids, like, especially my son more so than my daughter, these lessons, because what if I'm not here tomorrow? Right. And, you know, and I also talk to their mother about certain things too, because if something happens to me, she still got to be able to hold it together. Period. You know, and they need to be able to, she needs to have them have her attention. They need to be able to listen to her just like they listen to me. Right, right. And so we'll do things sometimes like we don't let them just talk to one of us. We'll get on speakerphone, both of them in the car if they get in trouble at school. Yeah. We just both work on that discipline part. Now, I might have this specific part of discipline, but if there's a discipline issue, we get on the phone, we talk to it with them, listening, so they know we're talking to each other so they can't play us. Right, period. Like, we'll get on FaceTime real quick. And really, the youngest one, Weston, hasn't gotten to the point, I feel, where he's in trouble, will get in trouble at school because he's just going to kindergarten this year. But Sam has had a couple little bouts at school, and like I'll be like, all right, well, we got to call your dad, and we'll talk on the phone, and he'll talk to him about it, and I'll talk to him about it, and then me and his dad might talk to it off sidebar and have a little conversation about it. Because the one thing about my two kids is they get in trouble for different reasons. Ashton's very much a leader, and she's pretty vocal.
Boy, what? And always has been. Like, what?
So so she gets in trouble for her mouth a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Antonio's not as much of a leader. Okay. So he gets in trouble because he agrees to do silly stuff. Yeah. Well, he did. He hasn't done it this year. Okay, good. God. But, you know. Fingers crossed. Right? But I think he finally got it. Yeah. You know, but he got in trouble because I had to teach him also, it's once again accountability. No matter who suggested, you did it. Right. So you're in trouble, not them. So he had to deal with it. So they got in trouble for different reasons. Her mouth has calmed down. What? He's not so quick to follow because he understands that there's repercussions behind actions now. And it's consistent. Yeah. There's consistent repercussions. It's not like he gets in trouble one time and then the third time we do something. It's like every single time. Yeah. Yeah. That's what Sam had to learn. Like I am slow to get the belt, but I will take away them games. Yeah. I would take away your TV time. I would take away all the things that you love
So that all you can do is come home and do your homework and eat your dinner, and you can talk to me. And
Right.
and you can go to bed.
And kids are different. Like I don't have to touch them like I used to at this point. Now I can just talk to them and we're good, for the most part. But also, there's different ways to get to the same outcome. It's not like there's just one way to go there. That was just the way I chose to teach them early, like to make the consequences not worth the action.
Yeah.
So that's why I did what I did. Now there's other ways, like we don't really do video games, so taking the video game. Now taking that girl phone away, that'll tear her up.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Not my girl on the phone.
And I'm like, God, she's on the phone.
Oh my God. I can't believe this. I can't believe my girl on the phone, but
yeah, and a lot of times she's talking, remember London from that's her little partner, so they talk back and forth all the time.
Oh my God. Oh, I know they talking too.
Yes.
Yeah, so like for me, so you co-parent, and if you want to answer this, you can. If you don't, you don't. How do y'all do like when y'all start dating other people?
Well, first,
how does that go?
It hasn't been an issue.
Okay.
Number one, I don't think I've dated anybody long enough to get to the point that they're coming to family sporting events. Like my son plays soccer, Ashton runs track. I haven't dated anybody long enough for them to start showing up to stuff like that at this point. Honestly, I'm not primarily focused on relationships at this point.
Facts.
I'm focused on me. Yeah. I think I've spent so much time investing, whether time or finances or emotions, into other people, that it's time to just highlight myself. Since I've done that, I've noticed other things in my life have picked up.
Oh, fact.
Things that would benefit the person I'm dating. So they have to understand that coming in, like, yes, I'm doing this, but it benefits you. I remember TD Jakes saying, if you want a man with a lot of time, he won't have a lot of money. If you want a man with a lot of money, he won't have a lot of time.
Fact.
So you got to give up something. And so
the sacrifice.
So my thing is like, raising my kids, that's it more than anything. I'm teaching them investments. So I have Acorns account. I deposit so much money a month. I show them how it's growing every month. And they'll see what it's projected to be by the time they're 21, and they see how it grows every month. So they're learning like interest rates and things like that now. Life insurance policies, things like that are trying to set them up for later on. So it's about, educating them at this point. So I'm really just mainly focused on making sure that my children don't have to start from behind like I had to.
Right.
Student loans, not a lot of help. So I started out my adult life in debt. I don't want them to have that same issue. If you can start out at zero debt out after college, you stand a better chance of doing more.
You definitely do.
Because you're not always playing catch up, and you can breathe a little bit when you're working. You don't have to feel like, if I don't go to work today, if I don't go to work this week, if I lose my job, then I'm going to have these issues with taking care of myself. Yeah. Because I've been taking care of that the whole time.
Yeah. Sam and Weston, I had to start their they have a little 529. So I had to start their little 529. I haven't shown them it yet, but I'll show them one day. Sam thinks I'm rich.
Of course,
he's always like, you got money. We can get these toys. You have money, and I'm just like, yeah, but that doesn't mean we have to buy the toys. Like, we can save the money. We can put the money to the side. We can go places. So like, I told him, I was like, every year you're not having a birthday party. Because I'm not paying all that money for people to come and eat for free and do whatever for free. I was like, maybe we could go on trips instead. So you can have an experience. You can do something else. So that's what we do. So this year, we went to Orlando. And we had a great time. And he said something to me. He was like, why didn't you buy me this toy? And I was like, I was driving. I turned around and said, boy, I brought you to Orlando. Like, what? I brought you down here, took you to Legoland, took you to the beach, took you to the Space Center, and you asking me why I didn't buy you a toy? He's like, well, I didn't mean it like that. I said, ask somebody else to do it. Ask somebody else to do it.
And so that's one of the cool things about how me and their mother co-parent. She's a trip person. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm like, let me find the best value for my dollar around this area because I don't want to have to pay for a hotel. Okay. I don't have to pay for travel and food. I got a house. I live in it, so, and I pay for it. So let me just stay there. So we'll do like a Georgia residence pass at the aquarium or a season pass at Stone Mountain so that, by the time we do 2 or 3 trips, you've paid for it.
Yeah, definitely paid
so
for
that
it.
I'm more about those things. The balloon museum we did this year.
Okay.
The mother, so it was a family, like we all went.
Yeah.
So we still do things together.
Yeah.
But I'm more that type of person. They went on a cruise.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not doing it.
Oh my God. Oh my
I'm not
God.
doing
Like I feel like spoken like a true Capricorn, like, I can make my money stretch here. Like that.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't, and traveling gives me anxiety too.
Okay.
Not the actual driving portion of it, but trying to find a hotel at a good rate, or trying to find a flight, or then traveling with these two kids, trying to make sure I keep an eye on them the whole time. Like, it stresses me.
Yeah, that's what they say when you travel with your kids, you really just take care of them in another city.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's really all you're doing.
And
like, yeah.
I took them to Clearwater one spring break. We were there for like a week. All they want to do is go to the playground.
Yeah, you don't have to do much. Like
the beach and the playground.
That's all they want to do.
Playground at home.
At home, but they get to go to another playground that they never seen before.
we could have found some. We could have went to like Gwinnett and found a playground or something like that.
This is a playground that's bi-coastal. They can probably see the beach from their playground. They're like, oh, it's the water out there. After I'm done going down this slide, I'm gonna go hit that beach real quick.
And then sometimes it's funny because I see the same reaction going on a big trip as a small one. It's great. Like, I didn't have to spend as much money to get the same reaction. I win. You know?
They just happy to be there at that point.
Yeah.
Like happy to. They like to, like, kids really enjoy spending time with their parents when they love their parents. Like whether they love them or whatever, however. But they like to spend time with you. So like it's cool that, like, you know, traveling gives you anxiety. So like, let me find things around here that I can do with them and have those experiences. They love that.
So see, like, whoever I end up dating, like long term, or we end up in whatever situation, they got to understand that. So it's not that I don't mind traveling. I just don't want to make the arrangements.
Right.
I don't necessarily mind paying for it. I just don't want to make the arrangements.
So you need somebody who's gonna be able to balance that for you.
Yeah.
They got to make their.
But I do other things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
up.
yeah. Not just, but yeah, I'll drive and whatever, carry luggage, do whatever I have to do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like,
because you know you carry the luggage, right?
Right. Yeah. So, like, they gotta understand, like, it's a balance. Like, you can't expect me to do what you do.
Right.
Like, I don't mind getting on the grill. I do mind being in the kitchen on the stove.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that.
Okay, grill. We love a man who's gonna throw something on the grill.
I don't care. It could be rainy, cold. I don't care. I'll get out there. Don't care.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that stove and that oven.
Okay, that's not your thing.
Don't want to do it.
Okay. So you need them to plan the trips. Run down your list real quick for the listeners. Okay.
It's like, no, you don't ever want to go nowhere. No, that's not it.
That's not it. I just don't want to make the plans.
Right.
That's okay. That can be worked with.
At least we can still go.
Yeah. You just don't want to make the plans. It's all good. It's a lot to plan a trip though. Like I go on trips a lot by myself, so it's so easy.
Yeah.
So I just be like, oh, I'm gonna find this hotel. This is my flight. Like I book a one-way flight one way and one way back because it's always like a little cheaper.
Yeah.
So like I just do stuff like that, and then like I'll be like, ooh, let me look at the restaurants that's around here. Let me look at. What I've noticed though, what I've started to do is I'm starting to plan trips around hikes because I'm starting to get into hiking. So like everywhere I go, I need to know where there's a hike where I can see some views.
Okay.
So like. It's very different, I feel like, from a lot of people. A lot of people plan to go to the beach on all their trips. I think that's very popular, but now I've just decided that I want to hike. So we'll
do that. Like when we went to Clearwater, we found a national park that had like warning signs, alligators and stuff. Like, so we do that. We definitely, I like being active. Especially being kind of older.
They don't even know how old you are.
I know you're older than your kids, but to be this big gap, so I kind of lived my life in the beginning. So I did all the stupid spending early.
Okay.
And so now I've kind of calmed down on that. So now I'm in daddy mode and provider mode and future planner mode. Yeah. So like my future plans, like I might not plan vacations, but I plan futures, like as far as financially. And they teach you about investment. Let's do this. That doesn't make sense because now you're just working 2 jobs. Let's actually own a business. So that's different. So that's where like my strength is over there. So just play to them.
Yeah, yeah.
But
definitely.
yeah, I love being active, and I'm like, you know, at some point in time, you know, my daughter's gonna start dating.
Yeah.
If I'm frail, they'll just feel like,
Right. You need them to walk in the house and be like, all right, her daddy might be able to give me a little.
Let me show you my gun collection.
Give me a
Let me show you some videos of me shooting guns.
Oh, right.
Let me show you some videos of my daughter shooting guns.
We should have talked about how you're into that. Like, because I remember you were telling me about one of the ranges like back years ago. That was like it was like a club, like privately owned, something like that.
So no, like my family has land down in McDonough down in Ola. Mm-hmm. So I use it as an outdoor range. So I bought like steel targets and we go out there, shoot the ARs, pistols, shotguns, whatever. It's just a different environment, other than just in a controlled environment like a gun range. Mm-hmm. It's just because it's fun and that's free and a gun range costs money.
Period. And it does. I mean, you still gotta buy like the ammo though.
Yeah, but ammo and range time and targets and I just bought my setup and now then I'm good there. Yeah. And it's just fun. And the thing that kind of clued me into that was when I was looking in the Henry County paper and I looked at the 4-H rifle team. Mm-hmm. None of them look like us.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, that's not going to fly with me. Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure that, when you look at, it's not competition.
Right.
But when you look at other demographics and kind of see what they're doing, and we're not even looking for validation, it's like, hold on. A 15-year-old can shoot better than an adult, than me? Like, hold on, something's wrong. Then I kind of got into it, especially when it comes to Atlanta being a hub for sex trafficking.
Right, yeah.
Atlanta, and then, I want to have my kids be safe.
Yeah.
I deserve to have both children. They deserve to have a fully functioning, well father.
Right.
And so the idea of someone taking that away from me because I was ill prepared. Yeah. Now, I don't go out expecting things, but the thing is, things just happen in life.
Especially in Atlanta.
And like, I'm going to protect my kids. Yeah. Period. That's what it's more about, just protection. I ain't because I think I'm Rambo and I'm not doing that. I just want to make sure that we're safe.
Right.
If the world ended tomorrow, we can still go hunt and get our food. Like stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. You just want to be prepared.
Yeah.
That's good. I need to come to the range.
Oh, we can go. I love that. I don't mind teaching.
I've only got one pew-pew.
That's fine. I got a couple.
You got a couple? Let me come look at the collection.
Yeah, I was buying one a year. The year my daughter was born, I bought one a year for a couple of years, and I chilled out on that. But, yeah, but I think that everybody should really be prepared because it's your right to be.
It is.
You don't have to be, but I think it's still cool that you still learn someone that teaches you not to be so afraid of them.
Yeah.
They're not just going to go off just because you touch it.
Right, right. They don't go off by themselves.
And make sure, especially if you live, say if you live on your own, ain't no telling what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Somebody might knock on the wrong door, come in the wrong house mentally. Like, you just don't know. Mm-hmm. So it's just best to just preparation part.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's true. I have a question. So we know your daughter's going to date and you're happy to show them the young men the collection. What about your son? When he start dating, how you gonna feel?
I don't know.
Y'all gonna go collection for collection, like you versus the little girl daddy?
Me and the little girl daddy, maybe.
Yeah.
Not the girl, no.
Yeah.
But it's just I just want him to treat her well, and typically, if there's a violent issue, it's gonna be a man against a woman, not typically the woman against the man. Mm-hmm. So I want her to feel safe and be prepared. Typically, if anything, he'll fight. If anything, he'll probably end up fighting over some other dude over her. Mm-hmm. If that. Yeah. But he's still going to be prepared too. I teach him boxing and stuff too. So we're just all around. I just try to teach him a little bit of everything, just so you can kind of choose what path you go down. Yeah. But I felt like the calmest I'd ever been in my life was when I was doing martial arts. When I was doing kickboxing. Because now I deal with irritation at work and I go home, might do a song or something, might work out, but it's not the same as punching somebody. It's just not. So, and it's not like I'm fighting people on the street. You go to the dojo, you go to the gym, you work your frustrations out. When you're done, it's kind of like.
Were you doing like Muay Thai or was it like a cardio kickboxing?
Just kickboxing. Yeah. Amateur. So it was we did punches and kicks. We sparred and stuff like that. Actually, I had a chance to spar with Forrest Griffin before he went to the UFC. Oh, really? That was interesting.
Wow.
And painful. But
it was. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just really, really calm in that because I think men are, from a natural standpoint, we do have aggression. So it's more than likely that a man is going to fight another man than it is a woman's going to fight another woman. But that allowed me to get my aggression out. So we're not hunting and killing animals at this point. So that allowed me to get my aggression out and just stay calm. And so, plus it taught me a good, valuable skill set. First thing is try to get away from. First thing, you don't want to fight anybody.
Right.
You don't want to fight anybody.
Whoa,
so hold on, chill out. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was their fault, my bad.
It's my bad, dog.
But
because everybody's trying to go home tonight.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. If people shoot somebody over some mayo on a sub, then if I mess around and cut them off in traffic or don't hold the door open for them or whatever, cut them in line or something like that, it could just as easily go off with that as well. So, we don't want to do all that. But if it comes down to it, I'm not going to let you hurt me. That's more of it than anything.
Yeah. I understand that. I used to practice jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I was a blue belt. And I say was a blue belt because I haven't practiced since before Sam was born, so 7 years. So, if I went back into a gym right now, I'd consider myself a white belt. But I still remember a lot of things. Yeah. It's crazy, muscle memory or whatever. I can still throw up a rear naked choke, no problem. It's insane. And once I start rolling around with people, I'm like, oh, I can still do this.
And that's another reason why you don't bother nobody.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who does what. Right. Has what, will do what, who's in what frame of mind. You just don't know. Yeah. Leave people alone.
Yeah, you gotta leave people alone. Because the other thing is, their dad was a professional MMA fighter. And he used to train me at the house. So, I give you a quick one, too. But I just be I'm trying to chill. Like you said, my bad. My bad. We can go home. I'm going home tonight.
Let me go hood to my boys. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to do.
Yeah. So we only have a few minutes left, but I want you to, do you have any new music coming out or anything?
I'm working on a new project. So that party video, that's on Vivo right now. So that's streaming, working on the promotions and stuff for that. I'm working on so my first EP was more along the lines of hypersexual male.
Right, dripping.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But the new one is Nick Cannon, aka No Condom.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one too.
So that one's out, but even those songs are not about random happenings. They're about a relationship. Right. It's what happens within the confines of a relationship, not
you out here actually being
right, just being fast in the butt like they say back in the day. So my next thing is more bright, more up tempo. So I have a Afrobeats song.
Oh, really?
I'll send them to you actually.
Yeah, you always just send me your music. I don't get no music no more.
I'm sorry. I just because now I'm engineering, so now I'm just do some engineering. I'm playing with stuff all the time. And so in the process, I be kind of fatigued. So I just say throw it to my producer and stuff, and we'll see. But so it's more up tempo, just more happy vibe type songs. I have one that's like a go-go feel.
Really?
So Afrobeats, go-go. It's a variety of projects I have. So that's what I'm working on right now. One of my biggest cheerleaders, believe it or not, you remember Dylan from Making the Band?
Yes.
That is my biggest cheerleader. He plays my songs on his iHeart radio station.
Oh, really?
Checks in with me from time to time. He's in Atlanta now, so we put some events and done some things together since he's been here. So that helps a lot. So that's part of my team right there. I love that dude, man. Dylan, I love you, bro. Yeah. My producers, my cousin. Got a lot of people that are just on the team, whether it's quality control of the music or whatever, website design, things of that nature. So I'm just working on that. I'm working on music for movies. So my biggest thing with music was never to really be a upfront artist. Okay. It was to produce music.
Yeah.
Right? But nobody knows you do music if they don't know you do music.
Right.
So how are they going to know? So with doing music, that's how I got the opportunities with film. And so now instead of just having songs that they're able to use, now I'm actually doing more like scoring. So if they give me a scene, I'll write songs for that scene. So I'm working on a vampire series now called Donor. So that'll be coming out. Be looking for that. Yeah. Right now, there's a movie called Fractured. I'm in that as a bartender. So I have speaking lines and music throughout that. So that's on Tubi right now.
Okay,
go check it out. It is free. Shout out to Kathy Taylor and Omega Keys for that. They allowed me the opportunity. And so I took it and try my best to run with it. Yeah. Just get out of here with that. So that's more what I want to do. More so behind the scenes, like giving a soundtrack to life.
Yeah.
More so that than being on the road for 2 and 3 months living out of a suitcase.
Right, because you don't want to do that. As we talked about, travel.
Yeah, traveling is one thing, but being gone.
Yeah,
I done missed my kids for 2 months. Like, what do you mean?
That's hard.
They done grew another 2 feet by the time I get back.
And 3 shoe sizes. Shoes are outrageous. Like,
yeah, they done finally slowed down a little bit.
Really?
A little bit.
Sam and Weston are growing out of shoes like crazy. Mainly Weston, and I'm shocked because he's only 5 and he's already catching his brother almost in shoes.
I be tearing the clearance rack up with them shoes, and I try to buy ahead too.
I try
so they can grow into them. So Antonio, both of them have pairs of shoes they waiting to grow into. So when they do grow out of them, they'll tear a Nike clearance rack up plus a discount on the internet.
Yeah, you can find good, like, especially on Nike. Like, if you go to Dick's, you can find some Nike stuff. If you have the Nike
app,
and you can use your thing at Dick's.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, you better go. Next time you go to Dick's and you get to check out, you better scan your little Nike app. You can use it at Dick's.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and like you can find Nike stuff everywhere. You just gotta look for it to catch it on sale.
Yeah.
But you can find it. But I'm happy. This school they're going to this year, they have uniforms. So they gotta wear black shoes, black shoes with black soles, and they gotta wear the uniform. So I'm happy about that. But they'll still need clothes because they're still growing out of their clothes like weeds. Yeah. Like, oh my God.
We do accept donations for these kids. So if y'all want to send some money this way, we will take it. We ain't prideful.
We need to put the cash app
she
on
might
the
be,
screen.
but I'll take it.
We'll put them cash apps on the screen at
the
end. So what are your handles on the internet? Tell the people.
You can find most things TraMel at www.tramelmusic.com. So you can see the videos, you can see my EPK that's on there, songs that I've released officially, and then songs that are on SoundCloud. My handles on all social media are TraMel, TraMelEeg. That's on everything. Yeah. TikTok, IG, Facebook, all of them. Okay.
Well, I think that brings us to a good place to stop. But thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you, Miss Kendra.
Mr. Antonio.
Thank you so much.
I finally get to call you by your real name.
Yeah. Well, we are ending the professional part of it, so yeah, I guess I'm Antonio at this point.
It's Antonio again. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming and having this conversation and giving a different perspective as a parent. Because the last thing I want is for people to be like, all she does is talk to women about being a parent. I'm like, I need to find some men.
Well, I'm glad we took our DMs and text messages of our conversations and put it on video.
Right.
Because we've been doing that.
We've been having conversations about these things. I text you quick and be like, hey, look.
What you think about this?
Right. It'll be so random. And it'll be like, I ain't heard from you in 2 years, girl. What are you talking about? But you do always give me good, thorough, thought out answers. And I really appreciate that. You're my little ace in the hole. People don't know about you, but they know about you now.
Yeah, I'm not an expert at relationships by any stretch. I know how to mess them up. So I can tell you what not to do. Right. Now, what to do? Right. Because I haven't fully figured it out, but I'm working on it.
I think we all still figuring it out, and that's okay.
Yeah. I think you spend a lot of time throughout trying to understand what you need. So a lot of times, relationships don't work out, not because the person we dated was a bad person.
Right.
They just didn't fit where we were trying to go. And it's nothing bad, no bad blood. We didn't work.
Right.
But in terms of the overall thing, this is where I'm going, and where we were trying to go wasn't in the same place.
Right.
So no hard feelings. We good.
Never hard feelings.
So it's a learning process. You got a date to learn. So it's going to be some, collateral damage along the way, so to speak. But
it was. Even if you stay with the person, there's still going to be moments where it's like, oh, I don't like that person. So it's all good in the neighborhood. You just have to be willing to accept that and willing to make the sacrifice, make the compromise. Find somebody who work with you. I don't like to plan this, but you're really good at planning this, and you plan this, and this is how we gonna flow with that. I don't like to cook in the kitchen, but I like to be on the grill.
So we do that, yeah.
So he on the grill, but
I do little minor work on cars, because my dad was a mechanic.
Okay.
So I do minor work. So I'm not gonna sit in I'm cheap.
Oh.
So I'm not gonna go
frugal.
I'm not gonna go sit in no shop for 2 hours for a job that takes 30, 45 minutes.
So change your oil?
I'll let them do that. That's like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
But breaks, I do them in my house in less than an hour and be done.
All right, bet I got it.
So I'll do stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I don't want to plan trips, but I'll put brakes on. I do little stuff.
Oh, okay. See, you saving money.
Yeah.
So you can plan the trip. Well, you can't, but she can.
She can plan the trip.
Yeah, he's saving money. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. Tune in next week for another episode of Single Mama Minimal Drama. It is Kendra, your host, and Mr. Antonio. And we are saying goodbye.